Welcome back, everyone, to another Hearts of Iron 4 Dev Diary overview. And this time, it is going to be Germany's new focus tree. Hurrah! Now, I'm just gonna go very quickly over it. It is essentially not something I like, but we'll get into that soon. Now, new focuses, new paths. Not much in the way of new economy, as you can see already. Just normal stuff, and no new military things. Just going very quickly. Of course, the primary thing is that you can stop Hitler and have the military in charge. Now, I don't like the way they did this because they, of course, decided that to oppose Hitler, it should be the army, and it should be in the Rhineland remilitarization crisis. Now, I think that doesn't really make any historical sense at all. Now, you're going to say, yeah, it's alternate history. And, I mean, of course, if you think about it, why would this not be okay? But, like, I don't know, fascist Canada, that should be okay? No, it shouldn't if this isn't okay. But, hey, Canada isn't, like, the main country, you know, that everyone plays, but Germany, yeah, it should be done right, 100%, and it isn't, because, well, so what they do is, as you can see, the Wehrmacht officers challenge Hitler. Now, there's, of course, this misconception going around that the Wehrmacht was actually anti-Nazi, and this is something that kind of, you know, nags at me, because that's not true. I mean, the Wehrmacht pretty much voluntarily Nazified itself after Hitler's takeover because they were for Hitler, because they saw Hitler as the best possible way to regain German power and influence in Europe, because he was the most militarist out of all of the different political leaders at the time in Germany. They thought the Weimar Republic was pretty weak, at least when it came to military affairs, even though under the Weimar Republic you already had sort of a secret rearmament. That's not something that is very often talked about, but there was a campaign to rearm Germany secretly. It wasn't nearly as extended as, of course, later on during Hitler's days. So Germany's military, which had been growing accustomed to operating as a state within a state during the imperial times, saw the rise of the Nazis not in a negative way, but in a positive way, because, again, they were more aggressively nationalistic. They would pay more attention to the military. The only thing that they were kind of worried about would be Hitler trying to establish more control over the military. But that did not happen for a long time until Germany started actually losing in World War II, and Hitler started getting very paranoid. Before that, the military was relatively independent, and then, again, it took steps to Nazify itself voluntarily, pretty much. Not really being imposed. For example, like the oath, pledging the oath to Adolf Hitler, that was absolutely voluntary on part of the German military. And in general, of course, once Hitler actually started to make foreign policy moves and those started working, then the German generals were that much more willing to go through with Hitler's plans. Now, this isn't to say that they were just Nazis. No, they weren't. They were just nationalists who were, of course, willing to work with the Nazis, but not necessarily all of them were part of the Nazi party. This is something that Hitler himself was quite, unhappy about, I guess you could say. And he famously very much disliked, for example, Prussian aristocracy, but still let them, keep their previous imperial positions in the army just because he needed officers. Right over, this should not be happening. I'll get like my guess as to where it would make the most historical sense for the military to try to overthrow Hitler. I'll talk about that later, but it would kind of ruin the focus tree, what it tries to do. Now, what it tries to do is essentially dividing the paths, one for, of course, normal Nazi Germany, and another one for a coup at the Rhineland, so very early on at the first focus for the foreign policy. And then you can, of course, as you can see, restore the either restore the monarchy or restore democracy, or just restore a compromise, I guess you could say. They say it's a compromise between monarchy and the Weimar Republic. It's just a constitutional monarchy under Wilhelm III, right? So Wilhelm II's son. And of course, with the monarchy, you get Kaiser Wilhelm II, because just that person just has to be in. And of course, the guy who leads the coup has to be August von Mackensen. It's just all very fan servicey. It's a little bit like the Austro-Hungarian Empire in Death for Dishonor. It's a little bit, I don't know. Oh, by the way, all of this is DLC stuff, so you just get it all if you pay. I mean, okay, fine. It's supposedly a focus tree expansion, so I guess they can sell it. And then with the monarchy, let's just go down. It's easier to explain with the graphic under us. So with the monarchy path, which is over here, as you can see, revive the Kaiserreich and reestablish free elections. Free elections goes down to, I think this is actually the most interesting path. You can go ahead and build a Central European alliance that tries to contain the Soviets, and that way you sort of are focused in that goal and try to fight in that regard. Now, what I kind of dislike there is that you're just kind of leaving the French with Alsace-Lorraine. I mean, really? Is the military going to let the civilian government just kind of focus on the Soviets and let the French just kind of sit there? I don't know. It kind of looks like you can go down and get some other focuses over there. For example, the Danzig for guarantees, but there's really no focuses over here down this wing to actually deal with Great Britain and France, which is a little bit weird in my opinion. But oh well. That's fine. Then you go with the Kaiserreich. Of course, over there, there's actually one interesting choice, which is either focusing on trying to take on the Soviets or trying to take on the British. Those two things are it's quite a good split in the way they are building it, because as you can see, you can either go down the focus on the true enemy, which is going to lead you to more naval buildup. And then the other choice is trying to go down the anti-communist route, which is going to lead you to accept British naval dominance, as you can see, probably reducing your ability to build a fleet in some way. And then, of course, you can have more things to actually fight against the Soviets. And actually, it seems like you can bypass Maginot in the south, so you can go for Switzerland too, if you so desire. But yeah, overall, pretty okay. Carte blanche for Alsace and French colonies. Okay. Overall, pretty okay in that regard. Now, then the other part is, where is it? It's somewhere. It is somewhere. Oh, down here. Down the Central Powers, of course, because why not just have rebuilding the World War I Central Powers instead of, I don't know, trying to make up a new alliance. I do not know, man. Just kind of, see, it's supposed to be alternate history, but I don't know. It's just alternate history that's really not that interesting, because it's like, oh, what if the World War I Central Powers were in World War II? It's like, really now? There's so many things that you can do. Just look at Kaiserreich, and then that's what you come up with. I don't know. Anyway, what I like about the monarchy path is that you have a lot more options for building up a navy. It seems, which is it kind of makes sense, because Wilhelm II was kind of a little bit fixated on the navy issue, trying to build up a navy that could defeat the British, secure Germany's place in the sun, etc., etc. Also, up here there's German Ocean Dao. I have no idea how you get that, because I don't see any focuses for that over here. Let's have another look. I mean, maybe it's break the Anglo-French colonial hegemony. Maybe it's that. Still, it's, yeah, pretty much something that would, I guess, make sense because Kaiser Wilhelm, he had some ideas. Anyway, the rest of the focus tree is, of course, pretty much the same as you can see for the Nazis. They did say that they changed around some focuses like Operation Weserübung, but, you know, nothing too strange. Nothing really too strange. And then they've buffed the naval focus tree for the Nazis as well. And then they've added these metho bills, which are sort of a way to, like, I guess you could say, facilitate the rearmament. And that's minus 20% consumer goods factories flat, which is, of course, pretty absurd. But it requires some kind of payment. I have no idea what this is. Let's see. The intention is to make Germany initially weaker, blah, 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 blah. To that end, we have added a new idea. The number of metho bills reduces consumer goods by minus 20%. But they have to be extended every 3 months. The price of extending these will progressively increase, as will the penalty that must be paid if these are not extended. Paying off these bills can be delayed by going to war, in which case the payment will be deferred until the war's conclusion, so be sure you can afford it by that point. And finally, just with the blah, 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 blah. Okay, wait. Just as with the industrial segment of the tree, everything that was mentioned in this paragraph will be available without... Okay, so the more standard Germany stuff, not alternate history, will be available without the DLC, which is very, very, very well appreciated, by the way. Still, it's kind of weird. I mean, like, what price? It just said the price of extending these will increase. What price? I have no idea. Might be political power, probably. Yeah, this is the Central European Alliance at its maximum extension. I guess it's like a bigger Intermarium in a way. Yeah, it's basically just a bigger Intermarium without Lithuania. I don't know. It's pretty interesting how you can like try to wriggle your way into existing alliance systems. See, what kind of doesn't make any sense with that is that all those states in Eastern Europe, except Hungary and Austria, already were part of an anti-Soviet alliance, but not with Germany, but with France. It was called like the Cordon Sanitaire, which means like the quarantine, and it was mostly an anti-Soviet, like 1920s French political project, along with like the Petit Entente, which was between Czechoslovakia, Romania, and Yugoslavia with French backing versus Hungary. It was one of those ways which France was pushing for sort of having an alliance network in Eastern Europe. And then it seems like with the German Republic path, wait, it's still called the German Republic. Oh my god, it's called the German Republic. What the? It's called the German Republic, and yet it's constitutional monarchy. Yeah, I mean, the monarchy compromise. I don't even sometimes. I'm pretty sure it's just, you know, alpha, blah, 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 whatever. But, I mean, you could have just... Okay, all that it needs is either, instead of German Republic, I'm typing up here in the browser, by the way. All that it would take to fix this is just replace this with, I don't know, like Germany. It's like any name, I don't know, or German Kingdom, or Fourth German Empire, something like that. I just don't even. Anyway, pretty much this is about it. Yeah, nothing else for this path that they've added. Pretty much, yeah, all of that is just stuff that we've already covered. So I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you know, kind of hope you bear with my ranting and still enjoyed it regardless of that. Of course, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.